Thinking about playing D&D online? Here are 3 things you need to know. 1.
Today, I found the actual hardest mod ever made. In this mod, basic zombies have even more health than a Giga Gargantuar, newspaper zombies breathe literal fire on plants, and screen door zombies give all zombies screen doors. 20 times more zombies spawn, and literally nobody has even beaten this mod before without cheating. So how long will it take before I lose my mind? I present to you, Plants vs. Zombies, 40 Crumbs Edition. On the first level, we're immediately introduced to the game mechanic of basic zombies now fusing with each other, gaining more health the more times they merge. They have upwards of 8,000 health, which is even more than a Giga Gargantuar, so the best we can do is just hope the pea shooters that now stun and knock back zombies can stall for long enough. They also do a special spread shot attack for every 15 pea shot, but we have nowhere close to enough firepower regardless, so nothing we can do but spin a lawnmower to beat the first level. It gets worse in level 1 too, as sunflowers now have a 4 times longer cooldown. In the short run, their new extra rainbow sun makes it not as bad, but it's still a massive nerf to sun production. So even with sunflowers, I could not plant enough pea shooters to kill any basic zombies, meaning lawnmowers were our only saving grace once again. But not before we're introduced to the new grass tuft flag zombie. It accelerates, has 10 times more health, and deals 4 times more damage. I didn't say any of these zombies were designed to be killable. You know it's bad when we're at the end of the second level and we haven't even killed a single zombie yet. And now, we're introduced to Kona zombies, which fire literal lasers. This ranged attack makes stalling them with pea shooters much more difficult than the basic zombies, making Cherry Bomb our only option against them. But since this level only sends zombies in free lanes, we can actually cheese it by just stalling with pea shooters and using Cherry Bomb every other wave to kill everything the game throws at us. So we survived this level, but things are not looking great for what's coming next. Because zombies now spawn in 5 lanes, Cherry Bomb won't do the job anymore, so we need pea shooters to start putting in some work, and somehow afford them with only 2 sunflowers. I honestly thought this was an impossible task, but the zombies being more spread out actually helped us, as each pea shooter had fewer zombies to deal with, which let us kill some of them at the very least. However, it's not all good news. I found out the hard way that Conet laser beams pierce through plants, so walnuts can't even protect plants behind them in this scenario. But actually, they just protect our plants slightly differently now, as walnuts now rapidly heal plants around themselves by sacrificing their own health. They essentially absorb all damage that the plants around them take, and this unexpected discovery made protecting our plants across 5 lanes much easier than I expected, so this was actually the easiest level thus far. 4 levels in, and we've beaten all 4 on our first try. Surely this mod can't be that hard. Well, let's skip forward to 1-6, where the difficulty will become apparent, because here is where our nightmares truly begin. Pole vaulters were buffed in 5 different ways in this mod, now moving twice as fast, jumping quadruple the distance, eating plants twice as quickly, and can now jump over lawnmowers. Well, we literally lost against the first pole vaulter that spawned. Oh, but I haven't even mentioned its 5th buff. Pole vaulters now teleport forward when they reach half HP. They have literal cheats turned on, while we have literal pea shooters that do like no damage. Thankfully, this was a 1 flag level, so I could counter all the pole vaulters by using cherry bombs and just sacrificing lawnmowers, since we have more lawnmowers than there even are pole vaulters that spawn. I was able to get by for now, but you know what's next, right? That's right, 1-7 has the same zombie lineup, but the level is now twice as long, and the only new plant we have is Snow Pea. I guess there's also Potato Mine that I haven't shown yet, but did you know Potato Mine gives damage amplification? It makes all plants do double damage temporarily, which feels like such a random gimmick, but we'll need any help we can get, since Snow Pea doesn't really help us much. It's just a pea shooter that costs twice as much but slows down zombies. I mean, slowing down zombies doesn't matter because we still have no way to take down pole vaulters without Cherry Bomb. And once Cherry Bomb is on cooldown, my only defense is just to sacrifice a lawnmower or pray that we somehow take it out and risk losing the game instead. And choosing the latter obviously backfired since I didn't account for the teleportation here. The worst part is that all our plants are either expensive or slow cooldown, so it's difficult even to afford short-term defense quickly. And right now, the early game is just a game of Cherry Bomb, lawnmower, or bust. And after I still couldn't figure out how to kill early vaulters, I resorted to sacrificing lawnmowers early on in hopes that we could build a strong enough defense later. Now you'd expect that we have an insane defense to show for by losing all but one of our lawnmowers early, but all I managed to get was just a column of snow peas and pea shooters. Oh, and to add insult to injury, this mod has a 5 times spawn rate multiplier on flags on top of the already 4 times increased spawn rate. So you tell me how I was supposed to defend 13 pole vaulters at once with this defense. 20 times increased spawn rate for flags, very balanced indeed. Even if we're lucky enough to survive those pole vaulters, now there's the impossible task of killing all the Conets and high tier basics with just 2 columns of attackers. Even damage amplification won't seem to make a difference at all, and there are just too many zombies even for a Walnut's healing to keep up. With such weak plants, this many zombies, Sunflower's nerfed to the absolute abyss, and absolutely ridiculous pole vaulters, this is the first taste of just how absurd this mod gets. I spent a whole bunch of attempts developing different strats, with most ending in utter failure, but eventually, I found that proccing pole vaulters on the 6th column makes them land on the 2nd column, then teleport to the 1st column once reaching half health, from where it will then eventually die to the backwards moving spread shots from our pea shooting plants. Without doing this, we won't have enough damage against everything, and if a pole vaulter passes the 6th column, it's pretty much a guaranteed loss without Cherry Bomb because they instantly jump into the house otherwise. So, even knowing a strategy that can deal with them, it still took me several more attempts not to die early while setting up this defense. And after an hour of playing this level, I finally got a run where I got favorable enough spawns early and got enough chomp blockers to counter the pole vaulters. That's not to mention I also had to figure out that pole vaulters teleport slightly more than 1 tile, which makes a massive difference here because it means snow peas in the back can't hit pole vaulters with their regular attack, so this placement utilizes their spread shots even more efficiently. After making every possible optimization, I could finally save my Cherry Bomb for the first flag of pole vaulters, allowing me to stall the rest of the browncoats long enough with pea shooters to cycle back to another Cherry Bomb. And at last, we defended the first flag without losing the lawnmowers or the game. An hour of work to find a way to defend just the first flag is absolutely crazy work, and thankfully the waves afterwards were nearly as bad since there's not a 20 times increased spawn rate until the final wave. That's how I managed to beat 1-7, and if you thought that was crazy, it gets way worse in the later worlds, so keep watching to find out. Let's move on to the next level.
W mieście ING zawsze coś się dzieje. Własny domek? Urządź go po swojemu i zaproś znajomych. W wieży rymów rzucasz Edziowi 3 słowa, a on tworzy z nich cały kawałek. Ty też wejdź do miasta ING.
With more than 6 plants now unlocked, I can start choosing my seeds every level. At first glance, Buckethead zombies seem unchanged, but they actually have significantly more health and move faster the more damage they've taken. That all sounds scary, but since choppers now stun the zombies they attack with 95% uptime while dealing high damage, it's the perfect counter against Bucketheads. But that's not all. Choppers now also heal all the plants in the 3x free area around itself every attack. You can see this green bar, which represents the Walnut's health, and it slightly increases every time a Chomper next to it attacks. This makes Chomper and Walnut a fantastic combo. One of them tanks the hits and the other heals it back up. Our defense was left pretty much unscathed by the final wave thanks to the Chomper heals. So this level is relatively free, but I wouldn't get too excited just yet. That's because we're now on to the penultimate level of the first world. Here's the catch. Since pole vaulters jump as soon as they're in front of a plant, we can't hold them in place with chompers since they just teleport forward after reaching half health and immediately jump into our backlines. And repeaters not getting buffed much in this mod, being just a pea shooter that shoots twice as fast with the same abilities, we don't have many more defensive options than we did in 1-7. Now, considering that this level also adds Buckethead zombies, I was in for trouble since I spent like 800 on repeaters and they basically do like no damage. I literally had to Cherry Bomb before even the first flag just to stop the bleeding. And if you remember, 20 times more zombies spawn on flag waves, and now that there are Buckethead zombies, you're telling me I have to kill all of these 15 Buckethead zombies that have 3000 HP each. Just to highlight how stupid this is, the combined health of all these zombies here is higher than Dr. Zombosses. Like, good luck defending this without infinite cherry bombs. This puts us back in the same predicament we were in 2 levels earlier. How do we not get absolutely steamrolled by the first flag if doing the same thing again certainly won't do the trick? If I wasn't getting completely cooked by Bucketheads on the first flag, I was losing left and right to pole vaulters early on still. Not only that, I was getting some of the most stupid interactions on my run. Like one time a pole vaulter seriously MLG jumped over a lawnmower, letting it make a run straight into the house. You can't possibly make this up. But through sheer chance, I managed to beat the level. See, there were so many pole vaulters at the top that they managed to out DPS the Walnut's healing, forcing me to use the lawnmower, which in turn cleared out the first lane preemptively. Now, that lawnmower sacrifice was obviously unintentional since spending lawnmowers later is almost always better since it gets more value. But it just so happened to be beneficial here because it reduced the amount of pressure on this walnut in lane 2, giving us just enough extra stalling time to kill off 2 waves on the second lane at once with 1 potato mine. That 1 potato mine single-handedly saved the run by providing us massive value, but being such a niche interaction, had this maneuver not just happened by chance, I would have probably not gotten very far, but luck will always be a part of the process of beating these levels. I got away with it this time, but you'll see just how bad it gets in the later levels. Now, let's move on to the last level of World 1. The last level of every world is a conveyor belt level, where, you have to survive the onslaught with random plants. Emphasis on the random part, because so many zombies spawn, it's literally impossible to beat this if we don't regularly get cherry bomb from the conveyor belt to clear out the crowds. And by crowd, I mean the spawn rate is just stupid. Cherry bombs in this level sometimes don't even survive long enough to explode because of how many coneheads there are. And guess what? Whether we get cherry bomb or not is just completely random. So if we get an unlucky streak and don't get any cherry bombs for a few waves, then death is basically inevitable, and we have to watch the entire defense fall apart and eventually lose to pole vaulters. Considering it's literally just a game of luck of cherry bombs, this level could have taken an eternity if I were constantly unlucky. But thankfully, I did get through it in just 2 attempts, but what doesn't take an eternity is just pressing the subscribe button. It's completely free, takes only 3 seconds, and supports the YouTube channel. Now back to the video. We got through World 1 relatively smoothly, but this is just the beginning of our journey in the first of 6 worlds in the 40 Crumbs mod. And now, time to begin on World 2. Now it's nighttime, sunlight no longer falls from the sky, and the menace of Newspaper Zombie is here. Prepare yourselves. If you thought that Puffshroom would be the saving grace at nighttime, they now last for literally only 15 seconds. You can't even have more than 2 of them on the lawn at the same time. That's how badly nerfed it was. But here's the thing, they now also do triple the damage, so is it really a nerf? Well, I'd certainly say so, considering these basic zombies have 8,000 HP. Like, what's a Puffshroom gonna do about that? Sure, damage amplification can help out our Puffshrooms, but they ain't gonna help against the absolutely ridiculous Newspaper Zombies in this mod. They literally breathe fire in 3 lanes, doing massive AoE damage. How much damage, you ask? Well, it literally one-shots normal plants, so don't even try chump blocking this. The only way to counter them is, once again, just Cherry Bomb. Honestly, should we just call this mod Cherry Bomb versus Zombies at this point? But without Cherry Bomb, if you try to DPS a Newspaper Zombie down, sorry, it now also has 3,000 HP, which is as much as a Gargantuar has in vanilla. Pretty balanced if you ask me. All of that is while it's not even enraged, being able to one-shot most plants and out-DPSing Walnut's healing on its own. So yeah, I guess you can infer that if it does get enraged, there is practically no counterplay, since everything in its way doesn't even have a chance of survival. With every wave having several Newspaper Zombies while I had even less stun than usual, I had no idea how to defend this without losing most of my lawnmowers. But being just a 1 flag level, spending lawnmowers does get us to the final wave pretty easily. But we've not actually won yet, because what's different about the graves, you ask? Yes, gravestones now not only spawn completely random zombies, but they also spawn them twice. What the hell do you mean there's now a Walnut Yeti zombie, and we lost just like that? Really? I can't possibly account for the random grave spawns, but I can at least use Potato Mine and Cherry Bomb against Newspaper Zombies to try and keep as many lawnmowers for the grave spawns instead. And thankfully, bringing in Repeater instead of Pea Shooter helped give me back enough extra space that I was able to counter all but 1 lane of Newspaper Zombies that spawned. Now, considering that the lane I lost my lawnmower in has no graves, this would usually be a guaranteed win by just sacking mowers in every lane, but we have to get used to the fact that many zombies in this mod have abilities that spawn zombies in other lanes, like the Zomboni that literally spawns green door zombies. We got lucky this time with the grave spawns and our lawnmowers handled everything, but this is just the first of what's to come in this world. Which, yes, Newspaper Zombies also appear in the next level, and this time there are even bucketheads in the mix. After only barely surviving the last level, we will certainly need to make use of the zero-cost Sunshroom to beat this 2-flag level of Newspaper Zombies. Now, it seems ridiculously powerful at first glance, because Sunshroom in this mod produces an immediate burst of 200 sun. The downside is that it only produces purple suns that lightly damage zombies after giving that initial burst that has a 30-second cooldown, so while great in the short term, they generate no sun for new plants in the long run, and that little burst of 200 sun every 30 seconds is not enough to build any sort of defense against Newspaper Zombies, so yeah, I just have to restart to choose my plants again. But now, it's pretty much a no-brainer to always have both Sunflower and Sunshroom. Why not get the boast of both long-term production and short-term gains? It's especially useful here since we need lots of chompers. Why chompers? Well, they are the answer against newspaper zombies, since the fire they breathe does not damage our plants while it is stunned, as you can see from this walnut actually being healed up right now. Both the stunning and healing utility from chompers are simply irreplaceable, so we'll need as much sun production as we can get to afford more of them later on. By the first flag, I had a whole column of chompers, a full column of snow peas, and almost an entire column of walnuts too. But here's the real kicker of this level. Grave ambushes now also spawn on regular flags. You know, a skill issue on my part that I didn't plan for a Conet double screen door jalapeno zombie at level 2-2 that explodes within 10 seconds. And yes, we also have to deal with the buckethead spam stupidity again, but this time, we can't even sacrifice lawnmowers to protect our defense since there are no pole vaulters. Yeah, I think we're gonna at least need Cherry Bomb for this. Oh, but even with Cherry Bomb, it's not even close to a guaranteed win because the graves can just spawn zombies that don't die to a Cherry Bomb, including a tall newspaper zombie and a football zombie that has a circling ring of basketballs around it. Literally, what am I supposed to do if even Cherry Bomb can't defend this? Guess I'm just not praying hard enough to RNGesus. So I thought, if the damage of one Cherry Bomb isn't enough, I suppose bringing in Potato Mine for damage amplification will help us more than Snow Pea would. But you know, damage amplification only works if the Cherry Bomb doesn't die instantly. Like, seriously, how has everything that could have gone wrong in this level so far gone wrong for us? But hey, I was still alive because there was one lane of defense that somehow survived, and you know, I'm not backing down when I still have a path to victory, so I started rebuilding some sun producers. And as crazy as it sounds, I was able to quickly rebuild my entire defense in just a few waves despite losing literally 80% of it in one go because of Sunshine providing so much instantaneous sun. I mean, chompers are just so overpowered when there are only a few zombies in each lane, since they basically perma-stall isolated zombies and continuously heal up our walnuts faster than the zombies can damage them. But hopefully, you didn't forget that we now have to survive for 2 more rounds of grave ambushes on the final wave. And it literally spawned a balloon zombie on level 2-2 when I just used my Cherry Bomb. And that's the whole level right there, off just one bad gravestone RNG. Like, surely, this must be intentional game design to waste as much time as possible for anyone who even dares attempt this mod. By now, you get the gist of this level. It took me 9 tries in total, but I did eventually pull off the damage amplified Cherry Bomb against the first flag grave ambush. And I'm not even kidding you. But all I did after that was just planting chump blockers in front to stall for time and watch the choppers rip through the hordes of zombies wave after wave, and that's how to get to the final wave without even losing a lawnmower. This won't be the last time we'll be seeing the difficulty of certain levels being just completely RNG based, but for now, just one more level until we unlock Gravebuster. Speaking of unlocks, we unlocked the 7th slot at the start of level 2 free, which also introduces the screen door zombie that, yes, gives every zombie 2 screen doors. And to counter them, we have the reworked 150 Sun Fume Shroom. They now fire a much stronger fume cloud that deals high damage and knocks zombies back, but cannot attack regularly. And instead, they must be manually controlled by left-clicking it like a coconut cannon from PvZ2. Now that sounds extremely strong, just spend 150 sun and kill infinite basic zombies in a lane, but its huge drawback is that its seed packet has a 30-second cooldown, which makes it not spammable. But now, the screen door zombie. Yes, they literally protect every zombie in their lane as long as it's alive, and it looks absolutely absurd. What these small screen doors do is reduce the damage dealt to zombies by 50%. As you can see here, the Conet in lane 2 was attacked first, but it was the Conet in lane 4 that died first because it was not protected. This 50% damage reduction also applies to the screen door zombie itself, so using Fume Shroom to bypass their tanky shield is more important than ever to take them out quickly. And yeah, Fume Shroom does seem pretty OP against these flimsy zombies, but let's be real, the screen door zombies are only protecting Conets and basics this level, which are basically non-threats, but what we've seen is a teaser of what's coming up next, which ain't pretty at all. That's because from now onwards, some levels will start including more zombies, like the additional inclusion of bucketheads in 2-4 now. I haven't even mentioned the return of pole vaulters, which spells doom for our Fume Shrooms. Just look at this walnut, which still has half its health remaining, but because Fume Shroom needs a whole 15 seconds between attacks, the pole vaulter just melts through a walnut completely unchecked. And the next thing you know, we are already looking at another wave of pole vaulters that I can't even defend because Fume Shroom itself has a slow cooldown. With us losing basically half our backplans on lawnmowers before even the first leg to just pole vaulters, this was an absolutely atrocious first attempt by me. Now, let's just say we get lucky in the early game. All the pole vaulters come in the right lanes where our Fume Shrooms are, we're able to kill them off without overspending or losing any of our defense because of that, and we bust most graves off the lawn, so we're not gonna lose to some stupid grave ambush. Well, then we have to find some way to deal with this massive horde of Buckethead zombies, which, mind you, each Buckethead has 3000 HP already, but with the screen door protection that makes them take 50% less damage, it means each protected Buckethead zombie has the equivalent of 6000 health, which is as much health as a Giga Gargantuar. Remember the comparison to Dr. Zomboss previously? Well, I don't think this is even comparable to that anymore. We're absolutely cooked because there's no chance that we're gonna do enough damage to kill them. And about Cherry Bomb, it doesn't even save us here because even that doesn't get through half their health. But if we just go back to our old strategy of Snow Pea Chompers, not only are Snow Peas useless against Green Door zombies, they also cost more than Fume Shrooms. 50 some might not seem like much, but when we already have less than at nighttime, it quickly adds up. And I ended up being too broke to plant enough Gravebusters before the first flag. And with Screen Doors protecting everything, Cherry Bomb doesn't even kill most Grave Spawns anymore, making it even more impossible to defend Grave Ambushes if we choose not to use Gravebuster. Without a proper counter to Grave Ambushes, and not enough Pole Vaulters that spawn to do a Lawnmower Sacrifice strategy, any Snow Pea or Repeater strategy is just entirely out of the equation. But what could replace them if Fume Shroom is too weak as well? Well, what I haven't tried is going all in on Chompers, since they're usually too expensive. However, with Puffshroom and Sunshroom, using them as the only long-term attacker is actually possible to set up without dying early. They are still very pricey early on, but my hope here is that their stun and healing will keep our walnuts in the back alive, and that will make up for the extra investment we make in the long run. However, there was one crazily niche interaction I didn't account for. I've previously always let Pole Vaulters jump on the 6th column to kill them with Snow Peas placed in the back, so I thought just doing this with Puffshroom would obviously work, but no, their attacks don't knock back zombies like Snow Peas do, so Pole Vaulters end up teleporting just slightly more, letting them skip the 1st column instead of stopping to eat. There really is no limit to how stupid this mod gets. But what if I told you that this interaction also happened to help by chance, and it's because I accidentally let Pole Vaulters jump on the 6th column? Well, since they will bypass the 1st column after reaching half HP, it helped activate my lawnmowers without actually killing any of our backline defense, and that allowed us to defend the front without using Cherry Bomb at all. That right there is what I call a 4D chess move. It gets us past the 1st flag, keeps our defense alive, and even gives us a spare walnut since we keep our backlines intact, all of which happened because of a mistake. That's not really a mistake, I guess. So after defending the 1st flag, I just got more Chompers to make sure our walnuts wouldn't die, and I've basically gotten a hold of the entire second half of the level by just spending more instant kills on blocking zombies off. Just got the final wave remaining. Can't be that hard, right? Well, I wouldn't still be talking about this level had I not made a complete smooth brain play here. I subconsciously knew this Puffshroom was gonna disappear, so I wanted to replace it to block the Pole Vaulters. But don't ask me why I used a shovel instead of just waiting it out. Instant replay if you didn't catch it, but I literally just let one of the Pole Vaulters walk up to the 2nd column. So, the same interaction that initially screwed us over, then completely saved me on the 1st flag, is going to end up killing me. And it's literally because of my own stupidity. Honestly, I've got no excuses. That's just skill issue on my part. And by the way, I went on to choke 6 more runs after that in various other idiotic ways, but I eventually settled on a more reliable strategy that uses Potato Mine instead of Puffshroom as early defense. The idea is very similar. We go all in on Chompers as our only attacker. The difference is that on the 1st flag, we get damage amplification from our Potato Mine and
Apparently, this used to be a real game in Roblox that allowed kids to literally recreate 9/11. And despite Roblox attempting to moderate the types of games that get uploaded onto their platform, there seems to be a concerning amount of games that somehow slip between the cracks. And so today I'm attempting to find the most offensive games possible on Roblox so I can test the quality of their platform's moderation, but also so I can assess how fucked in the head kids these days are. Starting with games relating to racism. So we're gonna start by literally typing in the word racism to see what comes up, and surprisingly there are a lot of games here. But this one in particular caught my attention: Blatant Racism Simulator Beta. And the thumbnail looks like a white man with a gun, and there are 3 black people dead and 2 Asian people dead. But let's just see whether this game is actually that offensive or not. And just a quick disclaimer here, we're going to be investigating a bit of a sensitive topic, and so viewer discretion is advised. However, the intent of this investigation is not to glorify or support these violent events or harmful behavior, but it's to assess the effectiveness of Roblox's moderation systems, to condemn potentially harmful games, and encourage positive change on the platform. Everything presented in the following section is strictly for educational and investigative purposes only. Okay, I'm in the game and it looks... Oh wait, yeah, I forgot I'm a girl. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why my Roblox character is a girl, it's because I decided that I not only wanted to investigate the offensiveness of Roblox, but I also wanted to assess the safety of this platform.
Want to create your virtual girlfriend? AI with no boundaries might turn all of your ideas
By going undercover as a girl and attempting to catch a predator in a bunch of different voice chat games at the end of this video. But anyways, it looks pretty normal so far. It's just an American neighborhood. Do this for America? What is this? Now leaving the American suburbs, and oh, there's a KFC over there, I think. Wait, let me just have a look. Yeah, there's a KFC. What could be so bad about this? Welcome to Detroit. Population 600 and... Okay, Okay, number 1, blacks, KFC. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand what's going on here. Let's just hopefully this is not racist. Let's just take a look inside the KFC and okay. Okay. Let's just maybe this was just a mistake. Maybe this is a coincidence. Let's just give this developer the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's not that racist. Let's just continue this game. So we have number 2 over here. Arabs terrorist height. Okay, the door is locked. Climb the tower and jump into the hideout. Okay, maybe this game is maybe this game is a little bit racist. Let's just go up the tower. And how do we get into the hideout? We have what is it? We have a soccer pitch, and we have Arab. What? I don't get it. I don't understand the stereotype. I don't think I've heard of this one before. Is there a stereotype with Arab? Okay, let's just get out of here. And it looks like they give you a an AK-47 as well. Okay, interesting. Let's just continue. Maybe this developer isn't really that race. Actually, no. You know, I think this game is probably going to be even worse. Let's just see how much worse this game can get. Number 3, Chinese Shaolin Temple, and we have dinner, and there is a dog. Okay, buddy. Okay, I see where this is heading. Let's just let the dog out, please. Don't get eaten. This person killed the dog. Anyways, so in the temple we have Chinese man. Okay, we get it. Anyways, let's continue. Hopefully this can't get any worse. I mean, this is Roblox, right? Why are kids so racist these days? Okay, now we have over here, it says Mexicans, and why is everything so bright? It says Mexicans on this thing, and oh, okay, I think this is the border. Okay, this is the border between America and Mexico. It says kill the Mexicans crossing the border. This is okay, Mexican immigrant bracket kill, and this is the border. Okay, that's okay. I feel like, okay, there's no need. There's no need. Why would we kill them? Anyways, let's continue. It says Indians coming up and more ethnicities. Oh, okay, no ethnicity is getting spared today. Okay, let's just, okay, how much worse can this guy get? Okay, number 5, Indians call center. What? There's multiple Indians on each floor. What the fuck is going on here? So, wait, okay, we have, let's just have a look. We have, okay, reception and Indian guy, and I think this is meant to represent an Indian scam call center. Okay, buddy. Okay. But let's see what else there is in this game. I think the game continues. We have number 6, Jews McDonald's, and it says keep boycotting white girls. I don't understand. Jewish bacon? What? Maybe I don't understand this one. Anyways, let's continue. Number 8, Russians political communist meeting. These people actually have guns and fight back, so take this. What? Okay, it's not letting me take the gun for some reason. I'm floating above. Okay, it looks like there's a barrier. Anyways, let's just take a look what's inside here. Oh, and there are, I think there are Russian people here, and they have guns. Okay, nice. And what is this? USSR. What does that mean? Anyways, I think this is the final one over here. Number 9, Brits Tea Party. Let's take a look. It's just gonna be, what is it gonna be? A bunch of, oh my gosh, why is his head through the table? Anyways, there's just a bunch of British people drinking tea. Okay, interesting. And I think that's the entire game. So yeah, this 100%, this game needs to be banned. This is pretty offensive, especially the first ones. Like, what the fuck was that? Like the dog, like the dinner and everything, and then the KFC and the black people. That is, I feel like this game, like how do kids think of making these games these days? So now I'm gonna switch up what I'm searching. I'm gonna search for the word racial, and this one has caught my attention. Racial roleplay, and the thumbnail looks like there is a person with like the Asian straw hat thingy in it, and so I can probably assume that this one is probably going to be a little bit racist, especially since there's some sort of roleplay stereotyping thing going on. But let's just take a look at it. Okay, I'm in the game and it wants me to choose my race. American, Mexican, African, European, Asian. Okay, let's just go with African, see what happens.